All right, so what I'm getting out of this is we want Joe Biden to win.
Yeah.
As a team here, but
Also as Canadians.
as Canadians, shouts out all Canadians out there.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And we're fearful that Trump's going to win, I think.
Yeah.
I have a feeling that he will.
I think he's doing the things he's doing with the voter suppression and stuff like that,
Yeah.
especially in key states like Pennsylvania,
Mm-hmm.
and especially with them getting the new judge on their side, so they have uneven numbers in the Supreme Court to be able to allow rules like you can't take any vote that comes in after November 2nd, which is fine. Like I think that's a fair rule. Like you've got a certain date where ballots should come in,
Yeah.
but maybe you should put in some stipulations like all these electronic ones, they're going to be delivered right away. But if there's something holding up the postage, which Donald Trump tried to start doing in the last couple of months by firing people from the post office and stuff like that, I think if there's stipulations, like if you send your voting in and you've got a timestamp, we're still going to count it.
Yeah.
Like I think it should be stuff like that. But you never know. This guy's trying to make as many votes not count as possible.
2020 Trump.
Yeah.
That's what he wants to see.
But even if Trump doesn't win, what do you think that's going to look like? Because it's not like this guy, you can still have a career outside of being a president.
Yeah.
And you being a president gives you a lot more
You're saying like
things in the world scale too.
what would Trump be doing if he's not elected again?
Yeah. He's obviously going to be
He's
pissed.
definitely got some stuff planned.
Of course.
I think in 2 years you see a Trump Tower in Moscow just to show people, you know what? I never had someone here, but you guys all said I had Russian ties and stuff like that. And
So big
Malta.
fuck.
yeah, just a big fuck you
Oh,
to everybody.
man.
And now this guy has like connections with presidents, dictators, like
Chinese bank accounts.
Chinese bank. Well, I think any international businessman has Chinese bank accounts. Maybe that story was a little blown
All
out
right.
of proportion.
All
but-
right.
Yeah.
So let's get into it, guys.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Bottom Line, where we learn, grow, and connect
Mhm.
through topics about business, finance, entrepreneurship, and life in general.
Yep.
My name's
Fashion as
Hector. Fashion as well, says Raz. My name's Hector.
Drip gun.
Okay, don't call me Drip God, bro. Don't you dare.
We're talking about fashion, bro.
We do talk about fashion here, but I will not go by that moniker ever in my
All
life.
right, fair enough, man.
Okay. All right. My name's Hector. I'm joined by some beautiful young gentlemen. Ian, Raz, and Joe behind the mic / camera. Today we're going to be talking about Amazon versus the world, how that has affected e-commerce. We're going to be speaking about mentorship in entrepreneurship and business. And finally, the 10 financial commandments with Pastor Razvan. That's going to be quite
So
exciting.
you're giving out nicknames, but
You can't give you the
Aye.
So I give you Pastor Razvan, but you can't be Drip God Hector.
Y'all can give me that one for sure. Whatever.
All right, fair enough.
All right, so let's get into it, guys.
All right, so we're gonna start with we're gonna probably say Spotify a couple of times in this episode. We mean Shopify every single time we say Spotify.
Take a shot every
Is
time.
it because
someone says-
Shopify came before Shopify, or is it?
I think it's
like-
just because it's so
It's
similar.
just really close together. It's like one syllable off.
Spot, shop, you've
Yeah.
got.
Take a shot every time we say Spotify instead of Shopify. Joe will have a counter going.
All right, let's start that counter then.
Yeah, and what are we drinking today? We've got
Where's the bottle at?
yeah.
Bottles over there.
Over there, some Vinay,
Some vanilla.
Italian wine.
Mhm.
It's a mix of a couple of wines.
Yeah, it was
Really
like 4
good.
different grapes, I think.
Yeah.
That's what it said on the back.
Oh yeah.
And then we got this Cathedral Cellar, a Shiraz from Western Cape, South Africa. Heard some good reviews. Can't wait to try that one out.
Yeah.
too.
Yeah,
for
that
real.
one looks amazing.
Yeah, so
Down
we've got
for that.
a whole global portfolio of wines kind of in these
Oh,
these
yeah.
last couple episodes.
Oh yeah.
Some
Smoky
Italians.
grapes.
Yeah, can't wait for the
Smoky
smoky grapes out of
The
California. to come out.
2020 smoky grapes. Oh,
Oh,
man, that's
yeah.
gonna be a classic
Yeah.
Classic
with the
wines.
spider legs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Both founded in 2006.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
interesting.
nice.
What is Shopify and Spotify?
and
Yeah.
Spotify.
Yeah,
I thought you were
that's
talking
why
about
it's
I thought you were talking about the wines.
The years of the FIs.
Yeah, it's the shops, the shops and the spots.
Oh man. So what's really going on there, guys? So someone let the people know what has Shopify been doing lately to kind
Well,
of
the
combat
topic is
Amazon versus the world.
Yeah, so let's maybe talk about what Amazon's doing first,
Makes
and
sense.
then we talk about what,
Yeah.
what they're kind of trying to do to
I'm
stop
down
it.
for that.
So I'm sure everybody listening and watching has probably ordered something on Amazon before.
Easy.
Probably
These mics came from Amazon.
what didn't come
Everything
from what?
Yeah, everything came
yeah.
from Amazon.
Other than this table, I think everything
and the
came-
wine didn't
yeah.
come from Amazon.
Yeah,
But
this one came from our socialist government, LCBO. No, this so a lot of people buy stuff on Amazon now, but then there's other competitors too, like Walmart. A lot of
Yeah.
people go buy stuff there, and I think people are just tired of Amazon being number one top dog in selling stuff. They went from
Ooh.
selling books to
Like, who's tired?
I think if you're in business, you should be tired. It's
Yeah.
if you're in competition with Amazon, you'd be pissed if you're number two and you're not going to get to number one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think what these big companies are doing now is they're realizing us by ourselves, we're not going to be able to beat Amazon.
Mm-hmm.
They've got too much of a stranglehold on the business. They've got their products, plus they've got the third-party sellers. We were talking about those being kind of the biggest block of sellers on Amazon.
Yeah.
They made a whole bunch of money on Black Friday and all those other days too.
Yeah.
Like, and everybody's eating off Amazon. That's why it's been so successful, right? Everybody's given this platform where you could reach millions of people around the world. You literally just send in your stuff to an Amazon warehouse. They put it into their Prime section. They really set up their whole system to kind of make everybody eat a little bit off of it, right?
Mhm.
Like Amazon gets their little fees and stuff like that. You're able to kind of not have to work a 9-to-5 job. You can find a product or a niche that you're really interested in, really skillful or knowledgeable on, and you're able to kind of run a business from your home just off Spot or Amazon, which you could also do with Shopify as well. But Amazon's really made it easier for the customers to buy and sellers to sell on their platform.
Who's their biggest competitor? You would say Amazon. Who's trying to compete in that
I think
top
Walmart.
dog?
I think it's, if you're going to look at any, these are the two biggest sellers of product. Where do you
Yeah.
buy most of your products at? Like when you go buy stuff, where do you buy your stuff at?
Yeah. Go to Walmart.
Yeah, you go to
or
Walmart,
Amazon.
unless you got like a little small grocery store that you like.
Yep.
Yeah.
You usually get most of your stuff from Walmart. They got fruits, especially with all these new superstores going up.
For
If you want
real.
something local, you're either going to like a Best Buy for electronics or you're going to Walmart for pretty much everything else. And they have electronics as well too.
Yeah.
So you can pretty much get whatever you want there. Very similar business model to Amazon. You go on Amazon, you get everything you want there, shipped to your house in 2 days. And now Walmart's kind of starting to do the same things, right? They've implemented the Walmart Plus, or I'm not really too sure what they're calling their new program, but it's pretty much a very similar thing to Amazon Prime. Whatever you order gets delivered to your house in 2 days. They're going to start doing the more warehouse stuff like that, like we've been talking about on the last couple of episodes. A lot of these bigger stores that can't get sold out, they're going to become either Walmart or Amazon depots and stuff like that. So just think about in your end, like where do you really go shopping? Like where do you spend your money?
Walmart, department stores.
Yeah.
Which
But
department
if it's like a Best Buy, if I'm looking for specific electronics, like if I'm really looking for, Walmart does do electronics, but if you're really looking for a good assortment and variety of headphones or phones or speakers, you're going to Best Buy.
Mhm.
Or if you're looking for,
Groceries,
again,
maybe
Walmart does
Walmart.
clothes as well.
Mhm.
Walmart does
This is the
clothes
Joe
as well,
Fresh.
but
They've got their
Yeah.
own brand.
if you want a deep assortment of clothing, you're going to the mall. You're hitting up H&M, Forever 21.
Or you going to
whatever
low
it
end?
is.
Yeah.
Low end.
Low end as well.
Yeah.
Not the mall.
Yeah.
So yeah, like Walmart is like that one-stop shop for almost everything that you want, which is good for like parents that want to shop in one space. But for me personally, yeah, I always kind of go to like department stores, more specialty stores,
Yeah.
so I can really like compare, like pick up a pair of headphones, pick up the other pair, see what's best. Walmart doesn't allow you that much
And they have,
comparison.
like, a
I think
couple
Amazon does a good job though, in
Definitely.
terms of giving you a lot of variety, because they're
Yep.
capable of doing that. Because like you're not limited on space in the store, right?
Mhm.
When you're online, you could just really put everything that's out there You can compare. Again, we bought these mics on there, and there's a bunch of other mics that I could have compared, like quality, price, all of that stuff. So it's definitely pretty interesting.
Yeah.
But problems on Amazon, do you see any problems on Amazon? Like, for speaking just on these mics, like when you type in microphone, you get 300 to 500 different things.
That's true.
There's a sponsored section, which is like all the big names. And then there's a bunch of these like Chinese products that are just as good as like the sponsored names, but you don't know which one's which.
Yeah.
So you're like,
that's true.
let me grab one of these. Hopefully it's good.
Yeah.
But you've got those options there to save a little bit of money. Maybe the quality is going to be the same, but you just don't have those reviews kind of set up, right? It's not a Panasonic, or it's not an SE-X1A or whatever. Luckily, our Cameron, Joe here knows all about this kind of stuff, so he knew what to tell us what to get. But if we were just looking on Amazon, there's like a million options for mics.
Yeah.
Like you've got to do some basic research by yourself. It's not like when you go into Best Buy and you're like, I'm looking for a mic, and you got a salesperson there or whatever to kind of help you out, right?
Yeah.
So you've got to do a little bit of basic research, and I think people have become accustomed to that. Let me go watch some reviews on YouTube. Let me go find what's the best product, and then kind of do a little bit of shopping. But I think Amazon just made it so easy for everybody to kind of move the products, whether you're a seller or a buyer.
Yeah.
And you could definitely see why they've got the number one space. Like, these guys sell more product than anybody in a single day. So
Like, how do you guys think they've grown in such dominance though? Like, Walmart seen them grow. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
it's the same way Walmart grew. You take away margins. Like, there's local stores. That's why you see like small little towns, they ban Walmarts, they ban McDonald's. Like, you just undercut everybody. Like, you can't do business with them. If you're going to do business with them, it's kind of like you when you're doing business with Walmart, you've got to have all your A+ quality goes to them at the cheapest prices. Like, it's not an open market. You just can only take what Amazon gives you or what Walmart gives you, you know?
Yeah.
Walmart sets the price. This is what you can sell it for. This is what we'll buy it from you at. And Amazon's kind of doing the same thing, except for they're removing all that overhead cost. You no longer have to worry about spending $15,000 on a store. So just take a little bit of your margin off, you know? Don't add 45% margin, add 20% margin, and be able to sell 1 million products as opposed to selling 100,000 products.
Yeah.
So,
But I think what's cool is that Amazon was a year ago or 2 years ago dived into like the retail space when they bought out Whole Foods, and now they're offering the customers the ability to purchase their stuff online, pick it up in store, or just walk into a Whole Foods, you know, get what they need to get, and leave. So it's like they went from strictly online to having that brick and mortar presence, and now Walmart's in the transition of being strictly brick and mortar, but trying to branch out into that digital space. You know what I'm saying? Like, we were talking about that Walmart and TikTok deal.
Yep.
And we were also talking about the Walmart and Shopify deal. You know, how important is that for them?
I think you want to speak on this a little bit, Hector, too?
Yeah.
You use Shopify all the time.
All the time, man.
Yeah.
That's where we have created an e-commerce presence at low end, and I feel like them partnering with Walmart and TikTok is going to create a more easily accessible.
They've also partnered with Facebook as well.
And
too.
Yeah, and
So
Facebook.
Walmart, Facebook?
Walmart, Facebook, and TikTok.
Okay.
Apparently.
Wow,
So
it's a big.
I'm not too sure about
trio.
the TikTok one. You guys just brought that up, but I know for sure that Facebook and Walmart have been.
TikTok needed someone to buy stakes in their company.
Okay.
Because you know, the U.S. banned.
Yep.
When
When Trump said,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They needed someone to buy some stakes in the company so they could be more easily accessible in the States. And
you have to be
kinda have a
51% owned by
Yeah.
an American company to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's where Walmart comes in. And again, it allows people to kind of sell their products on a social media platform like TikTok, where you can show a whole product looking on somebody, or let's say a rack even, or headphones, someone enjoying it there, and it's quality.
Quick 15-second clip.
Quick 15, 30-second clip,
Yep.
and you got a sale.
Yep.
Someone gets their eyes caught, they need that. You can have easily like 1,000 sales from that one video, you know. So it's going to be interesting to see, because even us as a company, we're going to be able to use that platform, TikTok, that we've seen some growth in,
Mhm.
just doing little videos in store. Now we can put our products on. That's game changing.
Yeah, it's like we've been talking about the swipe up feature on
Yeah.
Instagram, like
Mhm.
that. It's Walmart wants that kind of ability, right? Facebook, they do so much money in advertising because they have those options. They own WhatsApp, they own Instagram,
Yeah.
they have Facebook. So it's like literally where most people spend their time.
Yeah.
They're able to give you a free service and shoot you ads or sell products for other people. And now Walmart wants to have their own social media where it's like, just like Hector said, watch the 15-second video, swipe up, grab it from Walmart. Amazon's not. It doesn't look like they're need any help with selling products. They do that. They do that without any issues, you know.
With ease.
Yeah.
Ease.
So it really speaks to partnerships in business, right? Like every movie you watch, whenever there's a big bad evil villain at the top, you need to pair up with a couple people and a couple teams to kind of make the goal achievable, right? And Shopify being Canada's biggest company, it's past the banks, it's past RBC, TD, all the other stuff, especially in this pandemic where a lot of people have, like, their stock has grown in value a lot in this pandemic time. It's become the biggest company in Canada, and they're making the right partnerships and the right things they need to do to kind of take on Amazon. They want to be that platform that everybody can kind of sell on. It's going to be, you've got Amazon with their third-party sellers versus Facebook, Walmart, and TikTok, plus their third-party sellers with the Spotify integration. So I think there's going to be, if you're a merchant, there's going to be a lot of opportunities for you to kind of get your product out there, and you'll have a lot of platforms to kind of do that on, right? So.
Yeah.
For real. What do you think Amazon's next move is, though?
I think they're just trying not to get sued. Like, because there's like, when you get too big, the government becomes your enemy at that point, right? We were talking about on one of our previous episodes, like if you look at the government as a partner, you're never going to do bad in business. But eventually a partner wants their take too. So the government, when you get too big, is going to file antitrust suits, all that other stuff. If you're not allowing competition in the market, the government's going to try to stop that, right? Amazon's has had the ability to kind of not have those lawsuits put against them because they're never number one in every industry. Like you'll see like Amazon Prime, it's not better than Netflix, it's not better than Hulu. Yeah. But it provides a service, it's there, it's kind of thrown in as the Amazon Prime, like it's in the Amazon Prime bundle there.
Interesting.
Amazon selling, best in the market. But like it's not stopping other people from selling. It allows third-party sellers to go in. So it's not anti-competition. It allows competition. When they go into the Fire Stick, like they've got their Kindle, but just like you got a different e-reader. Yep. They don't own the whole market. They may own a majority of the e-reader market, but they started as a bookstore, right? Yeah. So it makes sense for them to be industry leader in that department, as well as being able to sell anything else. Like I saw one meme where it's like not Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos in like 1992 with like his little bald head, and he's like, I sell books, and then it's like 2020, he's like, I sell whatever the fuck I want. Just this big D's, like
yeah. So, they've kind of touched every market, and have put their presence in where it's hard to compete as a startup brand, even. Yeah,
like. You can't even compete with Amazon. You just got to sell your product on Amazon.
On Amazon.
Because it just makes some more sense for you. Like, I can literally just send it.
Drop shipping's a thing.
Yeah, I can send it to a warehouse. They just take care of everything. I send 300 products to a warehouse. That's like my monthly product amount that I want to sell. And then I just run ads to my Amazon page. And it's pretty simple business. Like, especially if you have a product you like and and you've got a good niche in there. Then it's not an issue. There's no reason for you to start your own Amazon or start your own store when you could just put it on Amazon.
It's a little oversaturated in certain ways, though.
For sure. That's where if you have your niche and you have your product and you've got the best product in that area and you can bring people to it either using like YouTube videos or Facebook ads or whatever, you don't need to have your own website. You just send everybody to the Amazon store.
Because think about it, like we wouldn't like kind of sell vintage clothes on Amazon, we wouldn't go to Walmart and be like, yo, can we sell these vintage pieces here?
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, when you go to Amazon, you go to Walmart, you're looking for, again, you're not looking for niche stuff. You're just looking for stuff to kind of.
I need this.
Yeah.
Exactly.
They have
I need eggs. I'm gonna go to Walmart, get the eggs.
Yeah.
I need a pair of headphones. I'll go to Amazon or on Walmart, get those pair of headphones. I'm not looking for this specific 1992, Grateful Dead tee. So
that's where Shopify comes in and
possibly
takes over in that market where the seller has more control.
Yep.
Like us,
Mm-hmm.
we're a very niche market here.
Mhm.
Sell vintage clothing, sneakers, hype. Like you can't find this stuff everywhere, so you're gonna have to go to Shopify, shop on there, our website type thing.
Yeah, so it comes to that point where you just got to identify what kind of market you're in, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
If you want to be a generic product, sell it in Walmart, sell it at Amazon.
Yeah.
You'll make millions of dollars. If you have a niche product, you need Spotify or Shopify. See, have a shot for that one.
I think we're at 2. Spotify.
Yeah.
There's 3.
So if you're
Spotify,
niche, go to
Joe.
Shopify, and then if you're selling generic, you try to move it on Walmart or Amazon, and I think they're trying to make those partnerships with Shopify. I almost said it again. To be able to kind of have the same thing that Amazon has, where they have the third-party sellers. That's probably going to be their Shopify users, and then they're going to have their own product in store, which is the Walmart way.
So it's niche versus general.
Yeah.
Basically, that's what Amazon versus the world is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's going to be it.
We'll see.
That's what it's
good.
become.
What do you think? Who do you think they're targeting though with these, like with the partnerships with TikTok, even just Amazon being such a big digital online presence? This could be a move to go against Amazon, but this could also be a move to set up Walmart to attract that next generation of users as well. You could say that too.
You always need customers, man.
Yeah.
Like these guys are selling everything. Like even just having any way to view a product, getting more customers come to you. Like that's the end goal. Like the more people that come to you, by any means, you're gonna get that, right?
Yeah.
Like buying these younger TikToks so you can get that younger view base and stuff like that. So for the next 15, 20 years, everybody that is on TikTok now just shops exclusively at Walmart as opposed to going to Amazon. Like these companies think in 15, 20, 30-year time frames. They don't think in 4, 6, 8-month time frames. Like they've got people there that they're going to keep hiring a new CEO when the other one retires or dies, like just to keep that mission going, right? Like this is where we want to be in 2045. They're not thinking this is where we're going to be at the end of 2020. Like that's why a lot of these companies too, they see COVID as these bigger companies, the conglomerates are like, we're just going to take this as a bad year. We'll probably lose 4 or 5%. Walmart and stuff, they're definitely not losing money, if anything. But these bigger conglomerates are like, yeah, it's COVID. We'll just take it as a lost year. It happens.
Yeah.
But smaller companies are thinking month to month, 3-month frames, 6-month frames, 1-year frames. Whereas Walmart are like, whatever, 1 year. We lose 4 or 5%. Not a big
It's like
deal.
LeBron missing the playoffs last season.
Exactly.
Coming back,
Yeah.
coming
Not a big
back
deal.
winning the championship the next one.
Exactly. We'll take this one off. It's like Golden State this year, Steph, sit down. We're not going to do anything, even if you play anyways.
Yeah,
just
exactly.
heal that hand up.
Steph's gonna come back crazy next year.
Yeah.
With Clay.
They're gonna get a nice pick that they can either trade or get a nice piece. From.
Wiggins
I'm excited for
Wiggins in that second pick are probably going to get gone.
They're saying the training camp might start next month, December 1st.
I don't know, man. I'm really excited if they start in December, but I don't know what the hell they're thinking. That's fast.
Yeah, I know.
Season just finished.
LeBron's still in the gym though.
We were watching him go live.
weirdest live experience. I'm like,
man.
this is what people do. Like people watch this guy live in the gym. He's literally setting up like his little crunch ball or whatever that thing is.
He's writing in his book.
Yeah, writing his book. And
I was
I'm like, people literally. There's like 150,000 people just.
Tyrese was in there with us.
Yeah.
Tyrese?
Yeah.
Tyrese
the actor.
The actor. He's like,
oh, hey.
He's like, that's
Tyrese
my little
Gibson?
Yeah, he's like, that's my little big bro.
Little big bro. That's hilarious.
Word.
So.
Oh man. That's definitely gonna be an interesting thing to keep up on. Cause I've been thinking about it past few months, just like, whoa, like Shopify's been going crazy. Their stock value increasing because everyone's doing this online stores. So many businesses had to shift to online. So Shopify is one of those one of those platforms you could use to do that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
And even if you have like
Squarespace.
$10,000 of just cash that you're not using for anything, if you can find a product you're making 10-20% on, like just buying it wholesale and selling it retail, you can make $1,000, $2,000 every month, which is enough for. I think a lot of people have realized that they know they have a specialty niche, and they're like, you know what, I can order 100 of these products and just sell them on Shopify, and I'll make a little bit extra cash. Like I think we're going to that point where you need to have 2-3 different things going on. You maybe make a couple $100 from here, a couple $100 from here, $1,000 from here, and you got a couple different things going on. It's the gig economy. Like it's been said all the time, but it's mostly been associated with Uber and those little jobs and stuff that you do. But now it's going to become, I've got this one gig that I make a couple $100 here a month. It's run on Shopify. I do a Facebook marketplace on this, and then I do this couple little things here and there. I don't think people can rely on one source of income anymore.
Yeah, I was listening to a podcast this week. It was a Shopify podcast called Resilient Retail. Just jumped on that like last week, and the CEO, I don't know if he's a CEO, but he's a business owner that sells. Let me see. It's called Mack Weldon.
Yeah, it's like
they sell like men's like underwear, boxers, and all of that stuff. Essentials.
Basically.
And he was saying you cannot be a one-trick pony. And then they had another episode with Jeff Staple, who's like a streetwear guy. And he said if you're relying on transactions at your cash register as a retail business, you gotta think. You gotta think about a different plan. You gotta think about other ways to diversify your income, your business, and stuff like that. So those two quotes really stuck in my head throughout this past week. Just like you said, like you can't just rely on one source of income as an individual and also as a business.
But in business world, that's thought of as normal, right? You be able to hit every single avenue, right? Like you get one person on. He's your Instagram guy. This is your Facebook marketplace guy. Like that's just. But when you do it in personal finance, you don't have 10 different people working on your personal finance team, right? But it should be the same kind of mentality. Like I go on, like when I was in grade 12, I used to sell phones on Kijiji. Like I'd buy one I knew the price relatively of them, and when I find a good deal, I'd find it for like $100 difference or whatever. Like it's $450, I'd buy it for $350, negotiate. Like you learn those skills, right? So all you got to do is learn one different product that's just always selling, like a cell phone or whatever's hot in your area. And you know the general price, you can negotiate, make $50 here, $100 there. If you're looking at personal finance, you're not making $1 million a year. A couple $100 a month is a huge difference. That's like your rent payment or your food or your car payment. Like the general way to think about it is if you can have a way to pay every single expense, like you've got a car payment, like let's just say for Instagram, you've got like an ebook that makes you $500 a month. You sell it for $2 or whatever. You sell $250 a month, that pays for your car insurance and your gas. Then you've got a little course that you offer for like $50. You sell 100 courses a month, you make $5,000. Like that's your money that you take in, or whatever. Like just little things like that. You could use whatever platform, and if you have a part-time job or a full-time job, there's still more than enough time in the day. So you can find something you can spend an hour on to make you an extra $100 a day or whatever here and there. All that extra money is
assets for liabilities.
Yeah.
Because my balance was like all the way fucked up.
Me
when
too.
I was just like bare liabilities.
Everything was liability.
Everything was a liability.
At one point.
Now I'm learning though. You really need.
You have to
try to get as many assets as you can and try to balance that out. It's easier said than done. But
for sure.
Definitely always have to be on like the pursuit of that.
And before it used to only be like you can buy real estate, you can buy stocks, you could do this and that. But now this is digital real estate. Having a YouTube channel, having a Shopify account, even having a Spotify account where you release like a little small songs or whatever. You do podcasts, anything, right? Don't just sit at home and be a victim to these Instagram and Facebook algorithms. Like we were talking about on our last episode. Go put an extra hour in. You can make $100 really quick, and once you start doing that, you really get hooked to it. It's like I just made $100, It took me 5 minutes of work, and it used to take me 2 days, like
Right.
at $15-20 an hour, or to make that kind of money. Once you start realizing that, you're like, oh, I can make $100 like that. Okay, I do this 4 times. That just replaced my whole income for the week that I needed to make.
Yeah.
And then you eventually get to a point where you're doing that 10 times, and that's doubled your weekly salary that you used to work 40 hours a week for.
Exactly.
And now this is kind of what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
That's why online presence is so important for us as a
Yep.
brand. Ian.
Yep.
We gotta really reach into that bag.
Yep.
You know.
100%.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
What do you guys? Who are people that put you guys onto that type of thinking? You know, like
Yeah, so we're going to be talking about mentors and stuff like that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Let's get this second bottle going.
Yeah.
Remind
finish
them
it.
what this
Yeah.
is.
This is Shiraz from Cathedral Cellar in
Beautiful.
Western Cape,
Shopify.
South Africa.
Or Spotify, take another shot. That's like 6.
Yeah, we're good now.
You're you're purposely trying to make.
Yeah, you're just trying to get
I'm
people
let-
drunk. That Halloween
Enjoy,
vibe.
yo. It's Halloween. Not anymore, but like, come on. Come on.
Definitely not Halloween.
So for mentors, you guys can speak about this first. Like, do you guys
Yeah.
have any mentors for the store, or is it more just going into it?
We definitely have some for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, I feel like I've always been in the search of kind of mentors.
Yep.
And this year especially, I've been introduced to a lot of people that could help me out
Mm-hmm.
in a lot of ways. Just giving me their knowledge, spreading their knowledge on business, as well as other stuff in life too. Like, it's not just business where you can have mentors. It could be in creative aspects. It could be in life aspects.
Yeah.
But not until now have I really, really experienced it and felt the need to
Bless you.
grow my relationship. let the glasses.
Spotify.
You're just gonna get people down. Right?
They gotta get lit. Join me.
Oh, this is good.
Word.
That's real good. I see why the lady said it.
Yeah.
What she said. Look at these legs, man.
Spider legs. Look at these legs.
How many legs?
Lots of
Too many legs.
Long legs.
You can't even count them.
Legs for days. Cheers, boys.
Cheers. Oh, Joe's in the shot finally.
Oh yeah.
Nah, you definitely are. Just a little bit. Just a little bit.
Ooh,
But-
I
but,
might get this a couple times.
Going
a
back
week now.
to the mentorship thing,
Yeah.
it wasn't until this year until I really figured out like the value that they bring
Mhm.
and made me want to seek out more of it as well.
Definitely.
What do you think, Hector?
Yeah, I think something I've always yearned for in life, like Ian was saying, is someone to guide me in certain areas where I'm not so knowledgeable in, whether it's finance, mental health, entrepreneurship, business, and again, these people that we've been introduced in. Because me and Ian have some similar mentors just based off business aspects,
Yeah, low end.
low end. And I think all the 4 of us owners
Yep.
do have some similar mentors.
Yep.
And being introduced to those people, again, you want to find some more in certain areas that you might struggle with. For example, me, I've always struggled with my mental health, and I seeked out a therapist, and I was seeing her almost every week since August, and that has helped me move as a man to kind of get out these demons and these traumas that I've kind of held on to for my life,
Mhm.
as a young person. I think it's important for everyone to kind of seek a therapist, because you sometimes you subconsciously just pick up things that you stick onto, and it's that word that's been going on, toxic.
Mhm.
It's toxic to your well-being, and you might not even know it. And these people that kind of put it in your face allow you to feel it, kind of strip down that layer, and help you kind of push forward to it. Like, what can you do to get over this? And again, mentors allow you to be vulnerable. Like a therapist allowed me to be vulnerable.
They get it though.
You
Like
know?
they've been in that position.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And I feel like that's the biggest asset that they provide, right? Like
Mhm.
when you're stressing, they've already stressed out. They've done that stress part.
They've been there.
So for them, it's just like, chill out, it'll be fine.
Yeah.
But when you hear that, it's just like, it's not gonna be fine. It's not gonna be fine. It's all like, it's just you're the whole clouds are the, what's that saying? The clouds are falling or whatever.
Yeah. Sky's falling.
Sky's falling. Yeah. Where this guy's like, I've been in that position before. It's gonna be fine.
Yeah.
This
It comes down to ego and thinking that, oh, I'm the center of the universe, so this is everything that bad that's happening to me is, oh, this is the end of the world.
And it's only happening to me.
Yeah, and it's only happening to me when there's people living in your daily lives that are going through their certain traumas and their own healing process as well.
Yeah.
Right. So
It requires humility. It requires being open to people's opinions and their thoughts on situations. You know, whether it's mental health, whether it's business, like, you know, you seek out these people because they have that expertise and that knowledge.
and most importantly, self-awareness. I think knowing
100%.
that you're lacking in a certain area.
Yeah, like if you're gonna go see it, it's not just for mental health and business, like you were talking about. Like if you want to see a personal trainer, because it all comes down to this point. Like
We've been doing
yeah,
recently
like you
this week.
you need to know where your weaknesses are, where you need to improve, and then you could find somebody that specializes in what you're trying to improve in.
Yeah.
Go and ask for advice. If I guarantee you, anytime you talk to a mentor or a professional that's their goal is to help you out, an hour with them is probably worth much more than 20, 24 hours of you going on YouTube and trying to find this information out. Because they've already done all that work. They've already put in the work.
100%. Because this week and recently, just in general, like, the cool thing about having that one-on-one mentorship is it's very, very personalized and it's unique to your experience with them. And they might not know you outside of that realm. Let's say you get a personal trainer. They might not know you outside of the gym, but they're so good at what they do in the gym, they could quickly diagnose what's wrong with or what you need to improve on very, very quickly. And it's such a good experience to hear that from people, because it's different when you kind of self-diagnose yourself with
Your homies.
let's say,
Even just yourself, like you're more negative on yourself than probably anybody.
Exactly.
Because you see things that everybody else doesn't see.
yeah,
Like you know what's actually happening. Like you're putting on a facade for people, but
yeah,
and they see what they see, but you know what the truth is on. Like
exactly. And
Right.
when they're able to tell you, you're really good at this spot, you're really good here, but we need to improve in A, B, C, and D. Like that hits very, very different when it's coming from like a mentor or someone that's very, very is a big
well-versed in
expert
that.
in
And
that
especially
field.
somebody that you pay for. Like
Yeah.
you're paying for this advice. Like if you don't follow it, you're an idiot. Like if you're the one giving this guy money to be like, watch me do what I do, and if there's something I need to improve on, tell me.
Yeah.
And if he tells you what to do and you don't improve on it, you're kind of just one, wasting your money,
Wasting-
and two, you're just being an idiot. Like
Yeah.
you're going against what you initially wanted, right? You wanted this
Exactly.
personal trainer there to be the guide and be the person that kind of helps you out, right? Sure, everybody's got their own stuff where, you know, maybe you don't trust what the guy's saying, maybe he's got some ulterior motives and stuff like that, but at the end of the day, these people are there to help you, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If this guy gives you a tip that's kind of like, maybe it'll add 2 weeks just because he wants to keep you as a client, sure, that kind of stuff happens as well, too. Like, these guys are trying to make their money, too, but the end goal is the same. Like, maybe it'll take a little bit longer to get there if this guy wants to add some stuff, but the advice, everything, it all comes in time. Like, you can't rush to success. You need those people there. Every company, every person every big boxer, every professional athlete, they have their mentors. They have all those people. They have training coaches. They have all that stuff. So if they're doing it and they're making millions of dollars a year, you making 35, 60, 100,000, you should probably have one of those too.
Yeah.
If you want to get to that next level, right? So
Exactly.
Yeah, man. And just you were talking about having the two different types of mentorship almost. You said it's different when it's one-on-one and it's personalized versus having, listening to someone on YouTube or reading their books. And that's how I kind of categorize my mentors in life. It's like I have those people that I don't have that one-on-one relationship. Let's say like a Gary Vee or even a Jay-Z. I'd consider him a mentor through his music.
Yep.
But I don't know him personally. So I categorize my mentors like that. I want to ask you guys, how do you guys go about finding mentors, and what type of mentors do you guys have in your life? Business?
I can talk on
Life,
that too, because
whatever
this
it
is
is.
exactly what my question was too. Because for me, you guys have people that you talk to, whereas Jay-Z, huge influence or whatever, a mentor in my life, just through the music, just understanding his point of
It's a
view.
big one. Music speaks.
Music speaks to you in different ways, right? Like every artist has got their fans for a reason, right?
Exactly.
Your message speaks to that person's heart, person's strings, and they get it. And but for me, I don't have a lot of physical mentors. I read a lot of books.
Yeah.
I get a lot of skills like that from books. I watch a lot of videos. I'm fine with paying somebody $50 for their course pack to get that valuable information, because it's just like I said, I'd rather spend $50 and get the information in an hour. So at $50 an hour is kind of where I'm getting charged at, as opposed to me spending 25, 30 hours on YouTube going through a whole bunch of videos to find the answer. So then I'm looking at, what is that, $50 an hour divided by 20, that's about $2.50 an hour. I'd rather just do the first option, get them paid out, and I value my time a little bit more than that,
Time is
like
money.
I don't want to spend 20 hours when I could just pay some guy $50 or $100 to get the answer I'm looking for, right? And that's what the open market allows you to do. Maybe those people aren't necessarily mentors, they're more selling you a product or a service, but it's the same way. Like, you're paying or you're talking to a mentor, and they've got that valuable experience that they've spent all that time researching. They've put in the work. They've done that work, and they kind of can give you the little shortcuts or things to focus on, things to not focus on, what's important, what's not important. Like, if you were to write a test and some guy was to say, you're going to spend 60 hours studying this, but it's only going to be worth 5% of the goal, whereas you could spend 30 hours studying this and it's going to be worth 95% of the goal, right? And that tip alone is worth whatever money's asking for, right? So
that's why I think mentors, for me, I enjoy those personalized mentors so much more, that you might have to pay a little more for, because they cater to your experience and who you are. I've done that reading books and looking at influencers and people on YouTube to find that guidance, but I think it's so much more it's closer to home when someone is face to face to you and can kind of dissect you and reach out to you and kind of hit your heartstrings the way you really need to, where you can learn about yourself in a more broader scape than someone on YouTube just saying X and O, and that could apply to only, again, like you were saying, 5% of the end goal. So,
and people would think that, I've got to really focus on this. This is really, he
exactly.
said it was really important. Especially if it's a YouTuber that you know and like and have been watching for a while. If they say this is what you need to do, you're gonna take that word as gold. Word. So it's like, so if this guy's like, this is what you need to do, maybe he's found success because he's got other avenues of bringing stuff in, right? Like he's making enough money off his YouTube and all that other stuff where maybe the advice doesn't need to be A1. Like, he's good, so he can just make out a video. Whereas some guy that's got 1,500 subscribers and maybe like 150 views on each video, that guy's giving you the real advice, because he wants to give you content that's actually helpful to increase his customer base. But once you hit the customer base that you want, you're more given generic information too. And it kind of ties back to that whole Amazon and Spotify or Shopify conversation we're having. And that's 8 shots for the guys. Yeah.
8 shots. Let them know, Joe.
So it ties into very, very similar to that too. Like, you're either going to go generic or you're going to go specific. Like, and you get what you pay for at the end of the day.
Exactly.
At the end of the day, if we want to tie it back to the Amazon and the Walmarts or the mentors, they're all shortcuts. You know what I'm saying? Like, with the mentors, you could, like, let's say I don't have a mentor for anything, I might still end up at those end goals that I want to have for myself, but it might just take so much more longer. Like, I might have to do all the reps myself and teach myself and kind of strategize and reorganize and tinker my plan as I go, rather than talking to a mentor, strategizing with them, talking with them, and they could be like, yo, avoid this, make sure you do this, and you'll get there a lot quicker. Because I was in that situation where it took me a lot longer to get to where I wanted to be, but it shouldn't have. And I want you not to go through those pitfalls and those struggles as well.
Yeah, but sometimes you do need to go through those to really learn.
Yeah, but I was going to talk about that as well too, because that's a very good point. Like, some people aren't made for that though. Like some
Exactly.
people aren't made to hit. You go, you do 20 hours of work, then you hit another wall. Then you got to find another problem. Got to kind of figure out yourself, right? Whereas this mentor, if he gives you a game plan, if he's like, just like how there was a Jay-Z song talking about Drake, they're going to come at you. Like, you know, like it's one of those things, right? So it's like the same thing. Like he's going to give you a guide of like how everything's going to kind of play out. He's already seen it.
Because Drake respond, like he didn't respond, but mentioned that bar in like few albums after that, and it was like Jay-Z told me not to dive into the beef or whatever, but fuck it, I'ma still do my thing and cook these men. Like and it goes to the conversation that we're having right now. Like it's some people would rather just go through all those pitfalls and learn for themselves, and other people rather just go around them.
Yeah.
And it's too, man. Like if you've hit the wall 50 times, you don't know where the end of the road is. Where somebody that's so some people are gonna quit. You know, like some people are just gonna be like, you know what, I'm just gonna go back to my 9 to 5. I've tried this for 5 years, it's just not working.
Yeah.
Whereas some guy who's tried it for 6 years has seen those 5 years and then has finally been successful. So now he's able to give that guy, don't quit, like keep going. You know, you're just a couple more strokes away from that diamond. You know, like if you're doing diamond mining or whatever, but you're super close to the goal. Here's what you got to look out for: 2-3 more months of hard work, and you're going to be there. Whereas if you're doing it all yourself, you never get that point. And if you do, you're going to have it from 3 different ways. Everybody's going to give you their opinion, right? Because not everybody thinks the same. So you're going to have one mentor tell you this, one mentor tell you that, one mentor tell you another thing. So.
Where do you guys fall in that? Do you guys rather go through all those trials and tribulations yourself, or would you guys, skip some of those, go around them through like a mentorship? Or
I think personally, I've been going through the falls myself recently, just on my own.
Yeah.
But I think now I'm trying to seek that mentorship in certain areas where I'm falling in a lot of areas, and I'm like, yo, I need to learn quickly in certain areas, whether it's mental health, finance, business, I would rather have that helping hand to kind of guide me in a certain area where I can kind of accelerate my learning and my experience. Because I'm 23 right now, and I would rather be
You're still young.
vulnerable. I am still young, but I'd rather be vulnerable and say I need help than kind of just go at it on my own and keep falling. And for me personally, when I take those falls, I take them to heart.
Yeah,
and I hold
that's
on
what
to them.
That's what I meant by my.
I hold on to them.
You've hit that wall the 20th time, and you're just like,
Yeah.
I just don't want to get up this time.
And I hold on to them. That's just how I am, man. I hold on to those faults, whether it's business, relationships, this or that.
Whatever.
I'll hold on to that
It
for a
hits deep,
while. So I'd rather go to someone and be like, I need help, and seek that, because I've been trying that fall, get up, and man, like
You've been trying the Nike fall down 8 times, fall down 7 times, get up.
and like I learn a lot, but at the same time, I think a wise man learns from history and others, where a smart man will learn from his mistakes. And I'm trying to be super wise quick, so I'd rather get those help from other individuals, whether it's customers, friends, mentors, professionals, whatever.
I think you hit it right on the head there. Like, it comes down to
who you are.
Yeah. Do you want to be a jack of all trades, master of none, or do you want to be a specialist? Like, that's where it comes down to. You could go there and try designing websites, being good at Facebook ads. Eventually, you'll be okay at kind of everything. You'll know how to do stuff. If somebody needs you there, like, you'll know how to turn it on, get it right. But you'll never be the best at what you're doing. Like, you'll be 60-70% there, but you'll never be in that 90-95% range, right?
Yeah.
If you're trying to always do literally every single thing, as opposed to either hiring people that are specialized in that industry or finding mentors that can help you grow in that industry, I think you're making the choice of being a jack of all trades, master of none, or a specialist in 1 or 2 categories, and you're just gonna. At the end of the day, it's up to you, right? Like, if you're gonna be a business owner, maybe it's best for you to try every little single thing, and then find what you're good at, and then hire what you're not good at.
Yep.
I think that's important for sure.
Whereas if you're going to be a specialist and you just want to work for somebody, focus on what you want to focus on. If you want to focus on marketing, don't do anything except for marketing.
Yeah.
Digital marketing, whatever, newspaper, whatever you're focusing on. If you want to be good at sales, don't focus on anything other than how to talk to people, sales, all that stuff. So it comes down to, at the end of the day, what do you want to do? Do you want to be a business owner that hires other people that are specialists, or do you want to be a specialist?
Yep.
And that's what a mentorship kind of allows you to do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think as a young person in business, I know for me and you, we would like to touch a good array of areas just because this business is so young, where we need to know what we want in certain areas to hire certain people that could cater to those areas as well.
Right.
For me, I'd rather be a jack of all trades, specialist at none, because I want to know about X and O, so I can be like, okay, I need you to specifically attack this area because I know you're good here.
But that's because you're a business owner.
Yeah,
that's what I was more trying to say, right? Like,
Yeah,
if you're going to be a
exactly.
business owner, you should be good. Like, you should be able to talk to customers, plus be able to do the back end,
Exactly.
plus be able to order product, plus be able to do whatever you need to do for the business.
Right.
You may not be the best at what you're doing,
Yep.
but if somebody calls in sick for the day, you
You
can do
go
the
do
task.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Whereas if you're a specialist, okay, I'm here to make sales. I'm here to do marketing. I'm here to whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And if I'm not here, that shit's not going to happen.
Yeah.
So it's a decision. What do you want to do? Do you want to be a business owner, get a jack of all trades, or do you want to be a specialist that comes in and just cleans up?
Yeah, and just going like you recommended me that book, Tax Free Wealth, with I forget the author's name, but great book. You know, if you're listening to this, definitely dive into that. But each chapter that he talks about, no matter the topic, he's always like, make sure you have a good team, make sure you consult professionals, make sure that you don't make these decisions or you do this on your own, because yes, you could do this on your own, but you could save yourself time, money, stress by just hiring someone that's a specialist at this. If he's a specialist in tax, just hire him. It might cost you whatever the cost is up front, but in the long term, you're saving a lot of time, you're saving a lot of money, and that just frees you up to do what you're best at.
It's opportunity cost at the end of the day.
You know?
You know this. You're in a business program. You know what opportunity cost is.
Yeah.
Like, if you're, the way I learned it, was if you can make 3 loaves of bread as opposed to somebody who can make 2 loaves of bread an hour, you should probably be focusing on making loaves of bread, because that's what you can do better than everybody else. As opposed to if you can make, I don't know, 1 pound of cheese per hour, as opposed to somebody who can make 3 pounds of cheese per hour, you should probably just still focus on what you're good at, right? Like,
Yeah.
if you want to improve at what you're bad at, great, but you're never going to be better than somebody who's literally just focused all their time and energy
Exactly.
on one thing, right?
Exactly.
You'll see all the biggest investors. You'll see the general rule of investing is diversify, but you'll see all the biggest investors focus on 1, 2, 3 things. They don't own the whole market. They own
Interesting.
things that they know about,
Yep.
and that's it. Like, you'll see Warren Buffett. He's been recently praising ETFs, but in his asset portfolio, he owns Bank of America, he owns Apple, he owns like 5, 6, 10 big companies. He doesn't own the whole market. He owns what he knows and the biggest players in that market, and nothing else. Whereas the general advice is to own the whole market, because you never know what's going to be hot. But if you're focusing on this and you're a specialist in the industry, you know it's going to be hot. So it's the same thing. Like, you're either going to be a jack of all trades, master of none, good CEO, you know how to run a business, or you're going to be an investor that focuses on certain things, right, that you know about.
Perfect.
Huh?
Yeah.
No, I think that that's a good transition to what we're going to talk about next, the 10 financial commandments.
Down for that.
So you guys all know the Biggie song, 10 Crack Commandments.
Yep.
Very similar thing. I saw it on Instagram. It's a couple of the guys that I recommended to you, the assets over liabilities guys, the what's their
Earn Your Leisure.
Earn Your
I
Leisure
love
guys.
that
Yeah.
account.
Yeah, no,
Great account.
They
They're
got
nice.
some
Thanks for
fire
putting
on
this
it.
on.
Yeah.
For real.
They give people what they need, bro. Like, that's
Yeah.
real information that you could use.
For
Sure,
real.
some of the stuff they put up, you definitely need to contact a financial advisor or a lawyer and stuff like that to see how it implements to you. But the tips they give out, great tips, and that's kind of like not a mentor, but somebody that I'd like to aspire to be, right? Like, that was kind of one of the inspirations for this show. And no, I saw one of their posts. It was like the 10 financial commandments, and I read through them, and I really like them too. And we're going to go over some of those today and just make some relations. Like we were talking earlier this week on setting your financial plan up and stuff like that. So we'll go through some of these, and you can kind of be like, yep, I did that, or I haven't done that, and we'll kind of go through it, right?
That's
So
cool.
the first commandment is get out of debt. So you can speak to this.
Yeah. No student debt right now. No credit.
No, but talk about the challenge on the road to get there.
Oh, the challenges?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It was definitely a hard road to go through, where I had so much debt, credit-wise and on student loans, where I needed help to get out.
Right.
And shouts out to my parents for allowing me to kind of use their funds to kind of get out for a bit. And I'm gonna put this on this pod that I'm gonna give back way more than they gave me, because that's what I'm trying to do in this life, you know.
For sure.
Give back to the ones that
Helped you out.
have helped me. And that was one big challenge for me, because I had no money almost coming in because of so much debt. I had to pay off.
You're servicing your debt.
Yeah,
You're not
basically.
even touching principal. All the money you're coming in is
Exactly, bro.
literally going out to interest.
Credit from credit to student loan. I wanted that all paid off, and thankfully I got the help to do so, on top of my own finances that kind of fed that to this day, you know, where I think we said June, July, around there, where I was completely debt free.
How did that feel?
It was amazing, because I was like, wow, I can actually see some increase, and where we've talked about defense and offense on the previous pods, where I can sort of grow to build that, you know.
Yep. You've got your defense set up now. Everything extra, you're
Exactly.
no longer surfacing debt, so you can put all that money into your offense too.
Exactly, and that's so important as a young man, where I can kind of build my offensive and defense to kind of make myself set in certain areas. So
Yeah, and you were saying earlier, you're still pretty young. You're 23. Most people don't get rid of their student debts till they're in their mid-30s, maybe early 40s, right?
I'm lucky.
Yeah.
I'm real lucky.
Yeah, like just speaking of my own experiences, like I still have my student debts. I'm still paying those down as much as I can, but, you know, it's definitely not first priority. But it's something that just has to get paid down. And it's like you were saying, you're literally spending more money on servicing this interest than paying down the principal.
Exactly.
So, and that's where a lot of people get trapped, right? Like they see the minimum payments. They're fine with making the minimum payments. But the minimum payments doesn't get you anywhere. Like
For real.
you're barely servicing debts, making the minimum payments, if servicing debt at all. And then what are you really doing? You're just kind of wasting money, right? So that's a huge point. You should see like how much your payment goes against your principal, how much of your payment goes against your interest and stuff like that. Like those are huge things. And then once you get out of debt, kind of allows you to go to the other 9 steps. Like, do you have anything to comment on the debt part?
Yeah, like I just said earlier in the episode, like I was way over in liabilities than I was in assets in a point of time. And just like Hector, just recently I've been able to take care of that portion of my finances. And again, just like Hector, it feels, you know, it's freeing. It's freeing, you know what I mean? Because
I can
it's
build
like
myself.
Exactly. You've played enough defense, now you want to go out, play some offense and learn from your past mistakes as well.
Right.
Because for me personally, again, like Hector, I've been blessed. My parents have been able to help me out with paying school and everything like that. But for me, it was just reckless spending, understanding how to use a credit card, knowing my limits was the biggest thing. And now that I understand that, and I've been in the worst situations, and I've been able to kind of dig myself out, I'm like, all right,
I'm never going back again.
let me be a lot smarter
Yeah.
with using credit cards.
No, that's what me and
spending
Hector were talking about too.
and all of that stuff.
Like he really figured out where he's making his mistakes.
Yep.
Probably not going to do that anymore.
Fuck no.
And if he does, he's going to keep it in check, you know? Like,
Yeah.
it's not, nobody's saying don't go out and buy a new pair of shoes. Nobody's saying don't go out and buy this. It's just, do you need what you're buying? Maybe consider that first, right? Like, think about how many hours it would take you to work to get what you're trying to buy, right?
Yeah.
If something's $300 an hour and you're making $15 an hour, is this worth 20 hours of your life? That's a decision you got to make, right?
Mm-hmm.
Usually no.
But if it is, great, buy the object. Nobody's saying don't. But we were saying we spend so much money on just eating out and food, all that other stuff that we're just kind of spending money on, right? Like we have all these subscriptions that we didn't even know was coming out. You know, it's just kind of, $25 goes up for this.
Buying Bear Loud back in the day. Fuck.
So you got a good plug here.
That's a subscription, eh?
Yeah, that was a subscription, weekly subscription. Of
Loud.
Woo, fuck.
Oh,
Don't out
shit.
yourself on this podcast.
Not fully.
Yeah.
Shouts out to my guys. They know who they
Don't
are.
name drop.
Yeah, I'm not name dropping, but they know who they are.
Just bleep it.
Beep.
Yeah. And then the number 2 commandment here is create an emergency spending, right? Like you never know what's going to happen. Something's going to happen with your car. Something's like you might lose a job, whatever. Have like a month to 3 months worth of expenses set up in another account. Like put $1,000 in another account where you never see it.
Mm-hmm.
If something happens, you know that money's there. It doesn't take you more than 25 minutes to access the money. Like it's not just locked up in an account where it takes you 3-4 days to get the cash out. Like emergencies happen. Like have a little bit saved there. Maybe it's not making you any interest. Maybe it's not earning you any credit, but that money's there to kind of just be there for emergencies, right? That's the number 2. And once you get out of debt, like putting away $2,000, it's kind of just like I've been wasting this money on interest anyway.
How important do you think that's been for some people with this COVID situation where a lot of people got laid off in the early months of quarantine or whatever it was?
I think if the government didn't help people out, I think you'd see a lot of people in bad situations. Like most people don't have an extra $2,000 in their bank account. Like if you didn't get the CERB check, how could you pay rent? How could you pay your mortgage?
Yeah.
Like you don't have that set up. And for 6 months, people don't have a 6-month emergency account.
Mm-hmm.
If the government didn't come in and give out $2,000, sure, for some people that didn't meet whatever their needs were, making $24,000 a year is not great money for anybody. Like it's better than nothing, right? Like $2,000 is still better than nothing, and you're able to kind of either service some of the debts or pay down your mortgage or do whatever you need to do. They put in the government really came in and helped out.
Yeah.
And I think if it was like if it was a market like the Republicans and stuff that are in the States want to see, a lot of people would be kind of on their ass, right? If the government isn't there to support the people, like people that are conservative or Republican, whatever their viewpoint on how government should be working, a lot of people wouldn't be able to make their payments, you know? So sometimes you need to have that government overstep or whatever they call it, right? Just because people need to be able to pay their bills at the end of the day. People don't have emergency funds set up. So that's a huge step too. Number 3, determine your financial goals. So like we were talking about, put in $80 a month for the next couple of years, you'll hit 400,000. Whereas if you do 200 a month or 150 a month, it kind of hits you to different goals, right? So you set your goals up. This is where I want to be in 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, right? And you kind of take the steps, you break down those steps to how to get there in 15 years or 10 years. And then number 4, budget your money. Kind of should be number 1. Like budgeting your money, knowing how much money you have coming in versus how much is going out and what you're doing with the surplus, right? We kind of did a budget for you. We figured out how much is left and then what you could put towards your financial plan, right?
Yep.
You don't want to spend all your extra cash on your financial plan because things come up. You want to buy a new sweater, you want to buy some food, your food bill isn't the same every time, inflation effects, like prices aren't the same every single time you go to the grocery store, so you need to have a little bit of leeway, right?
I want to ask you, how long did it take you to kind of, like when you first wanted to make a budget for yourself, did it take you some time to kind of learn maybe your spending habits in order to create not a perfect budget, but a more realistic budget?
I don't think there's ever going to be a perfect budget because no month is the same, right? Like, but if you know generally, this is what my rent is every month. This is what I generally spend on my Visa. This is what is going to come out for subscriptions. This is what's going to come out for my heating, whatever your bills are, right? And then you know what's coming in. If you could set a portion of where you've got money that, you know, you could write off, you don't even think about, I think that's the best position to be in.
Yeah.
And it's hard to speak on everybody's situation, right? Somebody getting an extra $20,000 a year might be a huge amount for some people, but not a lot of money for some other people, right? So it's like budgeting at the end of the day, you got to do it for yourself. You got to know yourself, and that's what we were talking about initially, knowing where you're overspending, where you're underspending, like where the numbers kind of don't add up, right? Like if we were talking about with food, you're like initially $200,
Yeah.
and I'm like, so you're saying you spend like $8 a day on food, like you don't eat out once a day, like for breakfast, lunch, or dinner. Like most people, like especially for me, I usually grab a lunch or something, or I'll make a breakfast, make a dinner, but I don't make one or the other.
Yeah, recently I've been doing my own groceries
Mm-hmm.
just because our personal trainer has kind of put us on a better diet
Mm-hmm.
and has forced us to kind of, for me, like my parents don't like really implement that.
Protein, heavy protein, heavy carbs,
veggies, all that.
And it's like,
they're
this is
just
what we're
doing
eating
their
today.
thing.
Yeah.
They're just doing
No,
their
my mom's
thing,
the same
man.
way.
You
My
know what
mom,
I'm
I love my
saying?
mom's
So-
cooking.
Exactly.
But it's not
Fire.
gonna hit my.
Yeah, fire.
Yeah.
Mom cooks out
Yeah.
fire for sure.
But it's not gonna hit my macros that I need. every day,
Exactly.
right?
So I've kind of went out my way to kind of get those certain things that I need, whether it's lunch, snacks, or what veggies, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And spending that extra cash has gone into my expenses at the end of the day, and that's where I came to you. I'm like, yo,
Mhm.
increase that by like a
Yeah.
couple hundred,
Exactly.
just in case.
Because yeah, you just like he said, $200 off the top of his head. But once you actually look into it, you're like, I actually spend about $400, $500 a month.
Yeah.
So maybe
Mhm.
I'll budget for 500 because there are months where I hit that, and
Yeah.
if it's less,
Yeah.
great. There's more money in my pocket.
Exactly.
But
Okay.
if it's not,
Exactly.
I know I'm gonna spend $500 a month on
Yeah.
food.
Mm.
Dope.
And then step number 5, get insured. So we were talking about on earlier episodes, the younger you are, the better it is to get insured.
Yeah.
Cheaper, it's already set up there and stuff like that. Invest regularly. We were talking about that, the $80 versus the $150.
Yep.
You see the differences it makes, like just even $5 more a month. But if you're doing regularly and stuff like that, monitor your finances. That's a pretty clear step. You got to always know what's coming in and out. Step number 9, enjoy the fruits of your labor. You got to take that one step back, like I was talking about. You got to be able to buy the
lyric right there.
yeah. You got to enjoy your time, man. Like you can't
Big
just put in all.
fruits.
You're the only one that
Lot
has
of
got
fruits,
wine
yeah.
left. Enjoy your fruits.
Enjoy your fruits.
You've
Ian.
been
Come on.
laboring a lot, talking a lot, so you got to enjoy those fruits of your
Been
labor.
saving, bro.
Budgeting at its finest, right there. And then number 9, share your blessings, man. Or number 10, share your blessings. That's the last commandment. You know, if you figure out how it works, if you figure out the game, share the rules. Share,
Yeah.
share the game plans. Become a mentor to somebody.
And that's what you said. You want to share that wisdom to your peers
Mhm.
and the people around you. So, shouts out to Raz,
And that's
pastor.
at the end of the day, that's what it comes out to. I'm not a pastor. I'm very unreligious. I'd probably burn in church, but
The financial pastor. Let's go
financial
with that.
pastor. I like that. Yeah, yeah. The church of
Financial pass is
yeah.
crazy, bro. That's hilarious.
I'm not gonna ask for donations every Sunday, but
Oh man.
just so I can pay for my jet. But you know,
Ooh, the Maybach.
yeah, the Maybach. But no, that's kind of the end of the day. Like learn, grow, connect. Like that's kind of what we're trying to do here. Learn new things, share them to everybody else, get some blessings, share the blessings.
Exactly.
For real, for real. That was great. That was really, really great. Enjoyed. We'll say 2, but 3.
Yeah.
3 bottles of wine. 3 great bottles of wine. And today, that is the bottom line. We talked about Amazon
Versus everybody.
versus everyone, to be honest, and how that market is kind of going on. We also talked about mentorship and how we seek out mentors, who are our mentors, what we want to get out of mentors, all of that great stuff, how to connect with mentors. And we also talked about the financial commandments, the 10 steps to financial freedom with our man Raz.
Yep.
That is the bottom line. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube, follow us on Instagram, The Bottom Line Pod. Thank you for listening, everyone.